Well, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Oh, wait a minute. This is Vera. You all are the workers. Good evening, everyone. There we go. There we go. The kind of energy that I've seen on these videos and from the remarkable young men who've come before us tonight is truly the reason that we are all here. And let me thank not just Vera, but those young men for presenting such an outstanding example of true excellence. Zach, thank you so much, not just for that warm introduction, but also for your friendship and your support over the years. Zach has been a friend. He started off as a boss, and he quickly became a friend, and then he has been a mentor to me over the years. And if I have had an example of how to hold in my hands the responsibility of a prosecutor and hold in the other hand the compassion and warmth of the human heart, it comes from Zach. So Zach, I thank you for that as well. Thanks also to Vera, the board of directors, and the Gala committee for this signal honor. It means a great deal to me. I have worked with Vera and known Vera for years, more than I will care to mention. And let me congratulate my fellow honoree, John Savarese. Those of you who know John, I want to congratulate John for his dedication, for his commitment, which we know goes bone deep and which he lives every day to the highest ideals of this organization and, in fact, of our country. And as I've also mentioned before, let me thank Shaquin Dix for sharing his story. For showing us courage and commitment literally on this stage. But also thanks to all of you who are here tonight to support the important work of the Vera Institute for Justice. It is so good to be back in New York and to see so many friends and former colleagues. All of you are still fighting the fight for justice and equality here tonight, and tomorrow morning you'll be back doing it again. Now, as we have seen and as we know, for over a generation, Vera has worked to illuminate the intersection of law enforcement and policy by shining a spotlight on how policies crafted in that rarefied atmosphere inside the Beltway actually impact real people across this great country. And I've relied on Vera's work myself, both in the chair of the Attorney General and the chair of the U.S. Attorney. For those of us who craft policy, in my view, must always keep real people, those individuals who have to live under the sentences that we sometimes so mindlessly write, we have to keep them in the forefront of our thoughts. But what I've always appreciated, and what frankly can't be bottled, is that Vera goes further. You do the hardest work of all. You craft real solutions to the problems that are strangling our country today. And you look boldly and bravely at the chasm that still exists between the ideals of this country and the realities of life for so many within it. You don't flinch, you don't falter, you record what you see and you make it real. And for that, I will always appreciate Vera, and I thank you for that. Now, the work that Vera does has never been more important. The work that you are doing tonight, what we've seen on the screen and all the things that happen every day goes directly to the tension that has always been at the heart of our country. How do we make real the promise of America, especially to those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? How do we do that? How do we make real the promise of America, especially to those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? Now, this question has been with us since the beginning, but it is especially important now as we stand at a crossroads in our beloved country. Every day brings new evidence of the racial and class divides that we hoped had begun to heal. And recent months have brought us images of an America that, frankly, many of us thought we had vanquished. Images that hearken not just back to the night riders of the South and the cross burnings of generations ago, but also to the forced internment of those who are feared as the other. The forced removal of children from Native parents, from enslaved parents. These are challenging times. They pose a tremendous test for all of us. And of course, whenever we face these tests, it's only natural that we look to our leaders to try and guide us through. And while we do see our leaders being tested, this is only part of the story. Because the reality is, we already know where our leaders stand. They have made it more than clear. They revealed themselves a long time ago, and they haven't changed. And I often think of the words of the late, great Maya Angelou when she said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So we've seen that. So yes, this is a test, but not for our leaders. This is a test for us, for all of us. It's a test of our principles. It's a test of our commitment. It's a test of our faith in our country and in ourselves. And the reason why it's so important to face this test here tonight with all of us is that Vera has always faced every test by going out and finding the real people who will do the real work, the hard work, to make it through. But that is our test. How will we counter the effects to suppress the vote and limit our democracy? How will we respond to the dehumanization of those who only want a better life? How will we answer those who still look to us as a haven for the beleaguered and a sanctuary for the oppressed? How will we make real the promise of America, especially for those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? And this fight is ongoing, and sadly, many of our warriors have left the stage. We lost just yesterday Judge Damon Keith of the Sixth Circuit. Judge Keith grappled with these issues throughout his long life and his storied career. As many of you know, he presided over many cases of seminal importance in the civil rights era. But one of his most famous cases was a case involving the Bush administration's efforts to close deportation proceedings to the press and to the public post 9/11. And in firmly rejecting this intention to hide the process by which we decide who gets to be an American or not. In this opinion, Judge Keith wrote his prescient phrase that is so real today: democracies die behind closed doors. Democracies die behind closed doors. And so, my friends, my fellow warriors, the challenge facing all of us is to continue to push those doors open. Now, I have to tell you, I am tremendously honored to be here with you tonight and to be with so many friends. And it was, in fact, the honor of a lifetime to serve as your Attorney General. It was wonderful to travel this great country and meet the real people doing the hard work and the often unsung work of justice every day. And know this, it was your work that inspired us. It was your strength that uplifted us. But even then, I could see the backlash brewing to the generations of progress that we sought to build upon. And while it is a great thing to have a friend in the White House, and we did for so long, we have not always had that, as we have sought equal justice for all. And I know these are challenging times. I know these are hard times. But here's the secret. It's always been hard. It has never been easy to force this country to look in the mirror and meet the reality of the life for so many people here. But it is all of you who are here tonight supporters of Vera, Vera itself, who have pushed this country ever onward. You have kept open the doors. You've pushed open doors blocked by intolerance. You've pushed open doors blocked by ignorance. You've pushed open doors blocked by hate. And how do you do it? You've used this incredible strength of real evidence, the clarity of true facts and not alternative ones. But most importantly, you have used the moral vision of human dignity that is all our birthright to illuminate the way forward. And now, as we continue to face the tests of this day, as well as those to come, I am tremendously honored to stand with all of you once again. And as hard as these times are, let us remember, we have been tested before, and we have come through. We have reached out our hands. We have opened our doors as well as our hearts. We have saved the soul of this country. And it will be hard to do it again. But there's no better group than all of you who are committed to the ideals of this country, and no one I would rather stand beside. Democracy dies behind closed doors. And this is the challenge for all of us here tonight. Find a door, put your shoulder to the wheel, and keep it open. Open the doors of education, open the doors of immigration reform, open the doors to the courthouse, open the doors of opportunity, and keep them there for all of us and everyone who comes beyond. So thank you, Vera, not just for this award, but for the work you have done and the work that I know you will be doing from this day forward. This award means so much to me, but what means the most is your commitment and the chance to stand shoulder and shoulder with you. So thank you so very, very much.